And hello out there, everybody. What's going on? This is Miho, joined as always by my co-host Pags, and we are going streaking.
We're going streaking.
Let's go, baby. We're talking college football. We're within a month.
Oh.
4 weeks.
Oh, baby, that gets the juices flowing.
Under 4 weeks, and we're staring at Miami and Florida.
Ooh.
The opening Saturday game, and then I believe Hawaii is a late game that night. But that's
classic college football right there.
That's it, dude. Hawaii, the late game. Under the whack.
The whack. Give us the whack.
But good transition there, because this episode we are previewing the ACC conference.
The most insignificant conference with the best team in it.
What do you mean by that, insignificant conference?
These teams stink.
They won the national title.
I'm saying, except for the one team.
Okay. So you think it's them and everybody else?
Is anybody on this thing other than Clemson that you could go, like in the SEC, you can go, oh, I could see LSU. I could see A&M. I could see somebody like that.
In the playoffs?
Yeah.
No. There's multiple top 25 teams in this conference.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it comes to playoffs, I don't think so, man. It's Clemson and everybody else. But when it comes to playoffs, it's Clemson, everybody else, Alabama, everybody else, Ohio State, everybody else. Like, it is very top-heavy for the playoffs, man. I think we touched on that previously. But there's only been, 8 or 9 total teams that have made the playoffs in its existence.
Right.
And Clemson isn't going anywhere, my man. They had a top recruiting class yet again after winning the title. Trevor Lawrence returns.
Yeah,
He's
by the way.
2 more years, by the way, with Sunshine. And he's your Heisman favorite coming into this year.
He is a stud, and teams are even talking about sucking for Lawrence. And I'm like, well, that's 2 years from now, people. So go ahead if that's what you're going to do. Okay.
Unbelievable, dude. But the only other team in this division, and that is the Atlantic Division within the ACC, that is Clemson, Syracuse, Florida State, NC State. Those are really the only ones that have a chance coming out of it. And the sleeper team that everybody's saying to maybe keep an eye out for is the Syracuse Orange.
Yeah.
Clemson going up to the Carrier Dome, lost there 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Tough place to play. Up-and-coming Syracuse team. You think there's any shot?
No.
That it may happen again up there?
No.
Why not?
Because that happened 2 years ago. Speaking from experience, 2009, we go in to Virginia, beat them. 2 years later, we probably have not a better team, but they have a worse team, and we lose 44-3. That shit don't happen two times.
The Orange were 6-0 and averaged 48 points at home last year.
Yeah. Syracuse is probably the second best team in this division, but I don't see them lose. I don't see Clemson losing a game this year.
I think they're going to lose one.
Yeah?
I don't know who it's going to be.
NC State?
NC State.
That's the one team I was thinking. I'm like, maybe
Syracuse is early. Their schedule, dude, really, it screams undefeated, like you said. I'm just kind of reaching there with, I think, one loss. But that's college football, dude. They seem to lose 1 week to somebody who they're not supposed to. What was it, 2 years ago? Pitt beat Clemson.
Oh, I remember that.
And Iowa beat Michigan. And somebody else beat the top, 3 out of the top 4 lost, but then stayed.
Yeah.
Because they only have one. So there's always one Saturday, man, where somebody gets a little bit
like
too
weird.
tipsy on Friday, doesn't show up Saturday, or they got 4 tests that week, so they're not studying
it's the classic
film.
Ole Miss, Alabama. Ole Miss always beat Alabama those 3 years in a row or whatever.
Yeah, or A&M with Johnny Football would beat them, and would be their only loss. But the only other team here outside of Syracuse, Clemson, and you have to mention him kind of based off a name, Florida State. Willie Taggart coming in. I think he's in his 3rd year. Still hasn't found a quarterback.
Nope.
He's got a couple of options this year, it seems. We got the Wisconsin transfer, actually Hornibrook. You remember the lefty?
Yes.
He's in the running with another
I hate
gentleman.
watching lefty quarterbacks.
You just said you like lefty golfers.
Exactly.
In Shankopotamus.
I know.
And you're not a lefty football guy?
Oh, ugly. Other than Vic. Watching Vic sling that thing was fun. But Hornibrook, dude, it looks like he's breaking his elbow every time he throws the ball.
Okay, all right. Well, FSU, new offensive coordinator, Cam Akers, still in the backfield. Solid guy back there. So there's some talent. There's some talent in Tallahassee. Now, I don't think it's Clemson talent, but there's talent there.
It's just weird coming out of my mouth saying Syracuse is better than Florida State. It's like Florida State is Florida State. The Seminoles, whoa.
I know,
and they
dude.
stink.
I mean, here's, as I'm doing some research, some respected websites out here doing previews. There you go, Clemson 11-1.
Oh, yeah.
Guys got them like I do, but
The
Syracuse 10-2. 10-2, 10 wins. That's a top 10 team.
Yeah. Who the hell do they play?
I mean, dude, that's the thing last year. So that gets back to the schedule.
Yes.
They may not play anybody, which is why last year they were 9-3 and ranked like 16th, and yet Pitt beat them and was 5-5 at the time because they had Notre Dame, USC, and Penn State, all top 13 teams. And you're going, that team is not the 14th best team in the country. No, but when you break down records, they got 2 losses. Everybody else has 4.
Put them in there.
13th. There you go. Like, I don't know, dude. Woo, the Syracuse Orange.
Here, I'll tell you, Syracuse. They got Liberty, Maryland, Clemson week 3.
That's what they're saying, right September, there. Up in the Carrier
So
Dome.
You got Western Michigan, Holy Cross.
That's it.
There's your 10-2.
Maryland.
There's your 10-2.
Yeah.
Clemson and probably losing to a game like Pitt or something like that.
That's it. They have 2 losses in the conference and I guess beating Maryland then, or losing to Maryland and Clemson and beating everybody else. It's just, that's how you got to schedule it, man. You want to recruit, you want kids, finish in the top 20, recruit the kids, all of a sudden it goes steamrolling, man. It's just one of those arguments. But the other division in this conference is maybe the most competitive division in all of college football. Because the record here is, I think it's been 6 years since the inception of the divisions and the title game and the new realignment and all of that stuff. And the Coastal Division has had a different champion every year.
So who's the team that hasn't won it? Because there's 7 of them in there.
There's 7 of them in there. Let's see. We got Virginia, Virginia Tech, Miami, Pittsburgh, Duke, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina. The only team to not win it, Virginia. Because Pitt won last year. Virginia Tech's been there. Miami's been there. North Carolina was there with Mitch. And UVA, the only one, and actually a lot of people putting them at the top of the list this year. So it could be 7 for 7.
That would be wild. The UVA campus is getting a little frustrated with football right now. Football's like, we got to pick our shit up because basketball just won it.
That's true. That's true. And they have a good program in Virginia, and that's the interesting thing.
No, they don't.
No?
They stink. They lost to Wayman Mary. I just said that.
That was years ago.
Yeah,
it's new coaches, new program.
What is it, Rocco Mendenhall?
Yes, who's instilling a little bit of energy in that program.
I'm biased. I'm just...
A lot of the pre-picks, dude, have Virginia at the top. Now, personally, obviously, having a Pitt connection with my father and sister going there, following them a little more detailed than a lot of other college programs, there's a lot of energy coming out of Pittsburgh. Having them win the division last year.
Yep.
I mean, they get hammered by Clemson. They're not on that level, and they'd get hammered again this year if they played them in the title. But you get there. It's a recruiting tool, and
Absolutely.
You're on ESPN.
Do you get a
TV.
ring as a Coastal champion?
You probably get something. Yeah. I don't know if it'd be a ring or
plaque.
Yeah, necklace or
not a necklace.
A little trophy with the guy on top toting the rock. You know, it says the inscription on the bottom.
Hey, you guys won the Coastal
Participation
Division.
in ACC Championship Game trophy.
You gave it an effort.
But that's where the fun part that comes with this is with the new inception of the ACC network this year. The ACC opens with conference games week 1.
Wow.
No cupcakes.
Wow.
Right out of the gate. Pitt, Virginia, week 1.
Whoa.
Night game in the Berg. You'll
Are we going to be down in South Carolina
we are
for
August
that?
29th, week 1. We're going to know by the month of September whether or not Pitt or Virginia is favored to win this division because they play the first game of the year. We got no cupcake of southeastern Missouri, north, south, east, west state. We're going right into UVA and possibly the game of the year.
Let me say this. With William & Mary, with 2 times at my time there, we opened up with divisional opponents, and both of them ended horribly.
Why is that?
Well, the year...
Maybe not specifically the game, but why do you think overall it was not as sharp of a...
Well, it's exactly right there. Sharp. You're not sharp.
Why not?
Because you're beat up in camp the whole time. Then
but the other team's not sharp either.
Correct.
So...
Well, maybe we were less sharp.
That's what I'm kind of asking is why do you think maybe
I
going
just think
into...
it's tough for... you need a couple games in to get conference time. Let's freaking rock.
Question when it comes to camp and practice. Different energy and focus when you open with a conference team. Do the coaches try to amp up
for sure
everything a little bit more? Do the players buy that? Do they understand the importance?
Well, yeah, you understand it, especially if you're playing like Pitt and Virginia here. You have the team you're going to be competing with in your division.
Right.
Week 1.
So in your eyes, how would they best prepare to do that? Like if you could look back, is it more scrimmages, more walkthroughs?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I know it's a lot of fundamentals in camp and everything like that. I would start installing shit that this team's going to do right off the bat and start practicing that.
Because you got Clemson, Georgia Tech right off the bat. So do you think Clemson's spending a lot of time in camp going against the wing T?
No, Clemson will do that the week off. They're
if it was another team, you think?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, not Georgia Tech. You're like, no, we're going to see this once and we're good enough. We'll just hammer them.
I guess I can respect that.
Yeah.
I guess I can respect that. But you also got Notre Dame, Louisville early on there. So a lot of quality games,
Explain this to me. Notre Dame plays half their schedule, ACC schedule?
More or less, and Big Ten.
Then they play their big teams.
And then Pac-12.
But no, they have a contract with the ACC that they have to play like, I think it's 5 or 6.
It's because of basketball, I believe.
Exactly.
So,
they have like a...
But it's usually the ACC, Big Ten, and then Pac-12 typically. Like you really don't see Notre Dame flirt with the SEC
Well, no,
too
they
often.
play Stanford.
USC.
They play or USC or
That's what
Michigan.
I'm saying. Your Pac-12, Stanford, USC. Your 10s are your Michigans, Purdue's, Penn States will play them every now and then. It hasn't happened in a while. But
they
then
have
they'll
so
stick
many
with their
freaking
independence
rivalries
as well.
Right.
You know, your Air Forces.
Navy. They play Navy every year.
Navies, your things like that. Sprinkle in a UCF, typically one of those level guys.
Yep.
But yeah, man, for sure. They could be mixed into this conversation as well because we don't touch on them since they're going to be an independent.
So is Brian Kelly on the hot seat?
Is Brian? Yeah, for sure. I mean, see, that's the thing, right? So you'd have to ask a Notre Dame fan because if you asked me if Jim Harbaugh is on the hot seat as a Michigan fan, I'm saying no. But the general public is telling you, a little bit, you know. So from an outsider's perspective, it's Notre Dame. Obviously, if you don't go 10-2, it's hot. You know, 9-3 is not going to cut it every year.
For sure.
And I think they have the talent to compete again. The schedule's tough as always, but they'll be right there. And they're the only cog, like you mentioned in the preview, that, which 4 of the 5 power conferences are getting in? Well, don't forget about your Fighting Irish.
People, you either love or you hate Notre Dame, I think. There's no one in the middle like, meh.
Not a lot of indifference.
Yeah, so you're getting back to the schedule. Like, Notre Dame knows who they're playing almost every year, and it's like, you can't really say that they're manipulating their schedule because they play the same freaking teams, and if those teams are good, great. If not,
that's why I think they get extra kudos at the end of the year over some of these maybe Washingtons or other one-loss teams. Because if you're going, hey, strength of schedule,
we got Michigan, these guys, we got Stanford,
there's top 25 teams sprinkled throughout that.
Right.
So if they win those games, that's why they get there. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they should be in a conference.
Yes,
but overall,
the NBC deal does not allow that.
Screws it, man. You know, I'd love to see them in the Big Ten or ACC.
Dude.
Okay, so I believe we agree on the fact that Clemson's the top team
for sure.
Playoff caliber.
Yes.
Number 1 overall.
National champion favorite.
You think so?
Right now,
them in Alabama. According to Vegas,
we're probably going to see Alabama, Clemson again.
But overall, you think Clemson is slightly ahead of
everybody?
Crimson Tide.
Yes.
Okay, so. Then I guess the question I ask is, who's going to face them in the other division? We touched on it. Make a pick.
I will go the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Ooh, interesting. That's out of left field. Not a lot of people.
No?
High on Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
although we did mention, man, they're all jumbled together.
Exactly.
So...
Or the Pitt Panthers, one of those two.
It's crazy, man. Everybody's high on UVA.
Virginia.
And like I said, we're going to know week 1.
Yes.
If Virginia goes in and beats Pitt, they're going to be on the map.
It's at Pitt, right?
It's at Pitt. And it's one of those things where the winner of that game, I think, may leap into the top 25.
Okay.
At least for the time being, week 1 or 2. And ultimately, place themselves probably at the top of that conference because after that, that's when you get into your non-conferences again. So you're not going to come back to it for 3 weeks. What's that feeling like at practice, dumping week 1 in a conference, and all of a sudden it's still week 4, and even if you're 2-1 or 2-2, you're 0-1 in conference.
It's shitty.
Pitt has the underlying potential of beating Virginia and then still losing to Penn State and UCF. They're 2-2,
right?
1-0 in conference,
right?
Or you're 1-3 and 0-1 in conference. That's a hell of a different outlook for the next 3 months of the year, man.
Well, my 4th year, we dumped to UMass start the season. And then we went on 9 in a row. We beat Delaware, we beat Nova. But then we lose to JMU, and it's like no longer the favorite to win the division because Delaware only lost to us.
Right.
And it's like, Oh, we lost to UMass. I forgot.
We lost once in 3 months.
So then the Villanova Wildcats helped us out there by beating Delaware at the end of the year. So thank you to Villanova.
Yeah,
That's the only time I will ever say that. But yeah, losing a conference game to start the season does things to you, whether it works in a positive way, which it did to us, or it could go the other way where it's like, oh, man.
Well, and we'll know early, man. We'll know by Labor Day. And Clemson, far and away, yet again, really the conversation comes down to Syracuse, Florida State, and then the Coastal Division and who's gonna take that one.
Yeah,
but
so
I think it's the second best conference. I know you said everybody but Clemson stinks.
You think it's better than the Big Ten?
Overall? Yeah. It's arguable. Who are you giving me at the top? Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State?
I would argue that Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Northwestern, Purdue.
See, it's interesting because I think all of those teams would win the Coastal.
Iowa.
But I don't think any of those teams would beat Clemson. So, overall, yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's just overall.
All right.
I would put the ACC third just because you have Clemson.
Gotcha. Well, let us know out there.
Yeah.
I'm going second. Pags is going third. Let us know where you guys would stack rank all the conferences. We have to yet discuss the Big Ten and end with the SEC right before kickoff, which we and everybody else tends to agree is the best conference.
No doubt.
So we're going to close with that one. But again, call us in. Let us know. And who do you think is going to win the Coastal?
Yeah, call us. Let us know. I know there are avid college football fans, and you Notre Dame fans, call in.
Absolutely.
We'll listen to you as well, even though you are not a top 5 program and should be. Okay. We will catch you guys next week with the Big Ten. Later.
Peace.